SuiteCRM has a calendar feature. In case you want to use it, let's look into how and what you can do with it. So let's go. You might have already noticed over the last couple of 8-point-something versions, this here got much more useful, much more structured and organized. So we've got the insights with the activities that are stored or tracked around the contact. Now there's another option. If you're tracking those already, you can check them in the calendar as well. And the calendar, let's switch over, would look roughly like this. Let's go over what we can find here inside the calendar feature, inside the calendar module, inside SuiteCRM. So first of all, you've got the day, week, and month view, so nothing special. I think that's very common for most of the calendars that you can find out there. There is something special, which is shared month and shared week. So for instance, if I switch to shared week and I have a user list here, and inside the user list, I select whose calendars I want to see. And then I've got them all listed here. And it's very obvious that here for this test meeting, there are those 3 users all invited. So user 1, 2, and administrator, they're all invited to this test meeting. So very interesting. You can as well do some settings configurations here. So if you wanted to not share not separate the shared calendars, then you would click on apply, and then you've got only one calendar here, and then it will be squeezed into one column. So here the shared month looks a bit easier on the eye maybe, and here you can see the test meeting with user 1, and also the user 1 is the organizer, and then others are invited as well. So here maybe that's a bit easier to look at. But if you're working on the weeks, usually you have to decide whether you want to do it in the same way. If you've got overlapping activities inside the calendar, you can see this as well. And there is a configuration where you can adjust the colors a little bit. So you can just click here, and maybe the contrast isn't high enough, so you want to make this darker, and then the font is more light or whatever. So therefore you can adjust this one. Nice to have, not really that important, I guess. So what else do we have? Display time slots in day and weeks. So the time slots are start and end time, and then you've got the time slots here. And then it's important if, for instance, you're creating a task, and the task is for the whole day, but you forget to pick the hours, like you would simply keep it at the 0 hours per default, and then it will not be displayed now because we're only displaying 8 to 19, and therefore 0 won't show up here anymore. So I'm going to keep it as it is, but need to be a bit careful about this one. And then one more feature, show call, show task. Yeah, so if you want to see only meetings, you've got plenty of meetings, then you can focus on those. But if you want to show tasks and calls, which I have enabled here now just to demo everything, then you can keep it here as well. And then yet another thing, do you want to keep the past here as well visible, or do you want to hide it? So I can just click on apply, and then all the events from the past are not there anymore, and I can show them again if I just switch the record or switch the setting different way. So the other thing that we can do, we can plan, for instance, the next month. So we can switch to the next month and see what happens next month, what we've planned in the next one. So what else? I want to go to today, and I want to see the data that we have here. So here we can use the pop-up actually in order to click on either the contact, the meeting itself. The meeting can be reached via the eye icon here or via the title. And in case of a call, that makes a lot of sense probably, you can go to the call and you can go to the pencil icon here and you can edit it directly. So here you would say this one is planned, now it has been held or something. So it has been completed, and therefore you would be able to go into the edit mode right away from here. So that's quite neat in case you're using it. You'll have to see how you're dealing with those activities. As I said, if you have the data already inside your CRM anyway, because for maybe calls you do like voice over IP integration, and then it will be tracked and logged automatically already. Then for the meetings, you would use this as well, because you want to invite other users, your team members into the meetings, and then you've got tasks as well if you're using it. And then you will see this in the calendar automatically if you add the data. And if you're using Teams and calendars, or maybe Google and calendars or something, then maybe you don't need it as such. But yeah, you'll have to see how you're working with this one. It's a neat feature. Not all of the projects are using this one here, but if you're using it, it seems like technically it's totally fine. Maybe the user experience isn't completely at the Google level, but it's possible to work with the calendar here as well. And additionally, you've got the data already inside the CRM system, so why not use it here as well? That's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.